Tumbler Ridge is the kind of place where people know their neighbors, where doors are often left unlocked, and where the sound of sirens is rare enough to make people stop and look out their windows. It's a quiet community in northern British Columbia, surrounded by wilderness, built on routine, and defined by a sense of safety that feels almost unshakable. But on one devastating day in February 2026, that sense of safety was shattered. Gunfire echoed where silence once lived. Emergency vehicles flooded streets that had never seen chaos like this. Families waited for answers that did not come quickly enough, and within hours, a peaceful town became the center of national attention. In this video, we break down what happened in the Tumbler Ridge shootings, how the events unfolded, what investigators discovered, and why this tragedy has left lasting questions that still haunt the community. Before we begin, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. We cover real cases with depth, accuracy, and respect, because every story matters, and every victim deserves to be remembered. This is the full story, from the first signs of danger to the investigation that followed, a peaceful community until everything changed. Tumbler Ridge was never known for violent crime. With a small population and remote location, life moved slowly and predictably. Families raised children without fear. Schools were considered safe spaces. Most residents described the town using the same word, peaceful. That's why the events of that February morning felt so impossible to comprehend. Violence wasn't something people planned for here. It wasn't something anyone expected to witness firsthand. But tragedy doesn't always follow expectation. The morning of the shooting, the day began like any other winter morning. Cold air, quiet streets, routine schedules, students heading to school, workers starting their day. Nothing unusual, nothing alarming. Then the first emergency call came in, reports of gunfire. At first, some residents thought it might be an accident or something distant. But within minutes, more calls followed. Confusion turned into fear. Fear turned into panic. Authorities were dispatched immediately, but by the time responders arrived, the situation had already escalated beyond what anyone imagined. The scene, chaos in a place that knew only calm. Emergency crews encountered a scene of shock and devastation. People were injured, others were fleeing, some stood frozen, unable to process what they were seeing. Law enforcement moved quickly to secure the area. Medical teams treated victims. Residents were instructed to stay indoors. Schools entered lockdown procedures. The town that once felt safe now felt fragile, exposed, vulnerable. And the most terrifying reality was this: no one yet understood why it was happening. The immediate response. Police acted under extreme pressure. Their first priority was clear: stop the threat and protect lives. Roads were blocked. Emergency alerts were issued. Officers searched surrounding areas to determine whether additional danger remained. In small communities, emergency response carries a unique emotional weight. Responders often know the people they are helping. They recognize faces. They understand the impact personally. This was not just another call. It was their community under attack. The victims, lives interrupted without warning. As details emerged, the human cost became painfully clear. Victims included individuals who had been living ordinary lives just hours before. Students, workers, residents who never imagined they would become part of a tragedy that would reach national headlines. Families were notified. Shock spread through the town. Vigils were organized almost immediately, because in communities like Tumbler Ridge, loss is never distant, it is personal. The search for answers. As the immediate danger passed, investigators shifted focus toward understanding what had happened. Who was responsible? What was the motive? Was this planned or impulsive? Investigators began collecting evidence, interviewing witnesses, and reconstructing a timeline. Surveillance footage was reviewed. Physical evidence was analyzed. Digital records were examined. But early investigations in chaotic scenes often face the same challenge: confusion, fragmented information, conflicting accounts. People remember sounds differently. Timelines blur. Fear reshapes perception. Separating fact from emotion becomes one of the most difficult parts of the process. A community in shock. In the days that followed, Tumbler Ridge changed. People checked on neighbors more often. Parents kept children closer. Silence replaced routine conversation. The emotional atmosphere was heavy, uncertain, fragile. Public spaces felt different. Familiar places carried unfamiliar memories. Residents were not just grieving, they were trying to understand how something like this could happen in a place they believed was safe. Media attention and national focus. As news spread beyond the town, media coverage intensified. National attention brought scrutiny, speculation, and constant updates. While coverage kept the public informed, it also created pressure. Pressure on investigators, pressure on officials, and pressure on a grieving community trying to process trauma. Rumors spread quickly. Online theories emerged, but law enforcement emphasized one message repeatedly: wait for verified facts. the investigation deepens, major crime units became involved. Specialists assisted with forensic analysis. Investigators worked to build a detailed sequence of events, minute by minute. Every question mattered. How did the suspect move through the area? What decisions were made leading up to the event? Were there warning signs? Could anything have prevented it? These questions would shape not only the case, but the community's future sense of security. The psychological impact, beyond the physical investigation, emotional recovery became a second battle. Trauma doesn't end when violence stops. It lingers, in memories, in routines, in the way people see their surroundings. For many residents, the hardest part was the loss of certainty. The belief that tragedy happened somewhere else, to someone else, had been permanently broken. Why this case resonates far beyond one town. The Tumbler Ridge shootings are not only a local tragedy, they reflect a broader reality, that even the safest places are not immune to violence. Communities everywhere ask the same questions after events like this. Could it happen here? Would we be prepared? Would we see warning signs? These are difficult questions, but necessary ones. Where the case stand, as investigations continue, officials remain focused on accountability, clarity, and justice. Legal processes take time, evidence must be carefully examined, conclusions must be based on fact, not assumption. For families, justice is not just about legal outcomes, it is about truth, understanding, closure, and until every question is answered, the story remains unfinished. Remembering what was lost, behind every headline are real people whose lives will never return to what they were. Friends, families, futures that were interrupted. Remembering them is not about reliving tragedy. It is about recognizing their humanity beyond the event that took them from the world. Tumbler Ridge will move forward. Communities always do, but healing does not mean forgetting. It means carrying memory while rebuilding strength. The sound of that day may fade, but its impact will remain. And the question that echoes most powerfully is not just what happened, but why. If this deep dive helped you understand what happened in the Tumbler Ridge shootings, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. We tell real stories with depth, respect, and truth, because awareness matters, and remembrance matters even more. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next investigation.